What's going on, everybody? How are you doing? I'm back. I haven't put a few videos for about a week or so. I had some issues with technical issues with the phone, with the camera, with the lighting, loads of issues. But don't worry, that's in the past. I'm back. It's Antonio. You're listening and watching Bitman TV. And here's our update, review of Raw for the week of the 11th of April and SmackDown for the week of the 11th of April. Like, subscribe and leave a comment if you would be so kind. So, Raw starts with The Miz coming out. And then he basically does The Miz TV, brings out Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out, he's actually getting cheered because he wasn't getting cheered before in AEW. They were just, I don't know, they hated Cody Rhodes. I never really understood it, I think because they probably thought he was burying guys, but he never won the big one, so I'm not sure. But anyway, he got a cheer, ovation I should say, here on Raw. They liked him, and he was basically saying, Cody was like, hey, I'm going to face you tonight, Miz, I'm going to beat you, and I will give Seth his rematch. But Cody was saying words you can't say in the WWE universe. You can't say things like belts, and you can't call people wrestlers. Miz was actually correcting him, saying it's a title, and we're superstars. So that was quite interesting. So that was quite funny. So that was that segment there. So that led up for the match of the evening will be Cody versus Miz. So the first match was Veer Mahan. Oh Lord, he's finally arrived. He was here last week, but I didn't get to do a video last week. But he is now here. He's not lost anymore. He hasn't gone missing. We don't need to send out a search party. He's now been found. He's safe, everybody. And he's here wrecking the Mysterios. So it's him versus Dominic Mysterio. It's basically a squash match. Got him in like a chokehold and basically squashed him and beat him down after the bell. So see what happens with Veer. It looks like he's going to be on some type of monster run. Then we saw a interview with AJ Styles. Obviously, he got jumped the last week by Edge and Damian Priest. And basically, he was saying when he sees and them guys are going to go for him, then he saw Priest and him and Priest started fighting in the back. Then it was AJ Styles versus Priest. It was a good match, good back and forth match. But near the end of the match, Priest goes on his knees and then the lights go out. And then here in England, I don't know what happened because after that happened and the lights went out and it went purple, I then saw AJ giving a interview and his head was a bit bloody. I don't know what happened there. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what happened. Anyway, then we had Miz versus Cody Rhodes. Good match. Solid match. Miz can always go against everybody. But Cody Rhodes won with one crossroads. And then basically Seth comes out and he sort of congratulates and acknowledges Cody, and it looks like they're going to do Cody versus Seth too. That'll probably be at WrestleMania Backlash. Then the next match was Liv Morgan versus Naomi. Naomi won half of the women tag team champions. Naomi won, good match with the ladies. Then Bobby Lashley comes out, the almighty Bobby Lashley comes out, basically calling out MVP, saying he wants answers. Why did he turn on me? Because he turned on Bobby Lashley the week before, which I didn't cover because I had technical issues. But Omos and MVP beat down Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley's there saying, hey, what's going on, G? We were boys, now you're beating me down. MVP comes out with Omos saying basically he forgot about MVP. It looks like he's beating him down because when Bobby had his match at WrestleMania, MVP wasn't there. So it looks to be there's some heat because of that. And the MVP was like, hey, I made you, your career was floundering. You was messing around with you was wasting your time until MVP turned up and turned him into the champion, which is true. I have to agree. But Bobby's the man, and they'll probably do Omos, Bobby Lashley too. Omos will probably win the second match, I reckon. Probably some type of interference. Then we had Bianca Belair versus Zelina, Queen Zelina. Basically a squash match. Bianca won. Then after the match, basically Sonya Deville comes out and Sonya Deville and Pierce are talking in the back about who is going to face Bianca Belair next. And Sonya ran to the ring. I knew this was going to happen. She reels off a list of people who can face Bianca Belair. And who's it going to be? It's going to be Sonya Deville for the title. And she basically plants Bianca in her head and attacks her. So yeah, that's all going off. Then you got Dana Brooks' hen party. And R-Truth is going to be the pastor. marrying both couples, so we'll see what happens there. There's going to be some kind of shenanigans. And they've all signed a treaty where they're not going to try and take the title off Dana Brooke until she's married, I suppose. Then it was RK Bro versus the Academy, Alpha Academy. RK Bro won by Riddle. Riddle won that. And then at the end of the match, Usos turn up because Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the tribal chief, the unified champion, said to Usos, hey, I've got 2 titles, you've got to go and get 2 titles. So Roman Reigns wants the Usos to unify the tag team championships. That's why that was on Raw. Then it was RKO and Usos going back and forth about the title. And then it was, then we had the Usos versus Street Profits in the main event. And then Usos won with the 3D. So it was a good match. So yeah, definitely worth watching Raw. SmackDown, it starts with RK Bro coming to the ring, calling out the Usos to accept their challenge. Basically, the Usos come out and say, hey, we're the longest running tag team champions on SmackDown. Randy was like, ha ha ha, I have done more than you have done in your whole careers combined. And basically, Usos accept the match, so it's going to be a good match at WrestleMania Backlash. Then we had Naomi versus Rhea Ripley. Good match, but Ripley's been booked quite strong. Ripley's not even been pinned recently, so Ripley won that match. Then we had Madcap Moss versus Umberto. Good match, but Madcap won. Seems like Madcap is now doing his own thing. He's looking pretty strong, so we see how that goes. Then we have Drew Gulak. So Drew Gulak is now doing commentary and interviews. So he's basically started commentating, giving Charlotte Flair an interview, asking her the hard questions, saying to Charlotte Flair she tapped out at WrestleMania, she wouldn't be the champion if the ref was conscious, and then basically Charlotte started attacking Gulak and got him in the figure 8 and made him say I quit. Then we had Drew versus Sami Zayn. The match didn't happen because Sami was avoiding contact with Drew and basically just ran out into the ring and got himself counted out, which is quite funny. But then Pierce says, well, next week we're going to have a lumberjack match and you're not going to be able to run away, so that should be quite interesting. Then we had Jinder Mahal versus Ricochet. Good match. Jinder and Ricochet can both go, but Ricochet won. And then in the main event, we had Riddle versus Jimmy Uso. Good match, obviously, solid competitors. But Riddle won by the RKO using Randy's moves. So that's it for Raw and SmackDown. Like, subscribe, and comment. And you can follow me on Instagram below. And yeah, I'm back. Have a good evening.